Hi everyone, today we're considering the consonant sound L. I'm calling from my garden office and I've got my children playing in the garden, so you might hear a few screams and things, but don't worry, everything's fine, I hope. So in terms of the consonant sound L, what I find really interesting about this is that often people make a very common mistake. And that is that their attention is too much on the tip of the tongue. So if your tongue comes forwards for the L, it's L at the beginning of a word like light, lunch, lesson. Then the tongue should be touching this part of your palate just before the tooth ridge, the very edge of the tooth ridge. If you don't have a British accent, it's much better to place your tongue slightly further back. So a lot of people place their tongue too far forwards. So rather than being lesson, light, lunch, it's going to be lesson, light, lunch. So mistake number one is the positioning. Number two is often that people just focus too much on that movement of the tongue. So their attention goes with the movement. And therefore, this then has a big impact on the resonance. So, resonance is where your voice literally resonates. So, it's where the sound is really. And the British resonance should always be in the cavities in the back of the mouth. So, around here, this area, and in the throat, especially because as you can hear, is a voiced sound. Ooh, ooh. If you can do this, it's a really good exercise, a really good warm up just to practice that sound on its own. Ooh, 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 ooh. And as you do, just see if you can shift the position of your tongue. So away from the teeth and more towards the palate. If you just start by touching the teeth to find the position and slowly move back, you should find that everything starts to slope up. So you've got your alveolar ridge here, just literally before the teeth. And then as the tongue comes back, it starts to slope. So it feels a bit like there's a step between your palate up here and your teeth. And you want to be just on the edge of that step as it slopes up. So you're probably going to be able to find that if you look a little bit with your tongue. And the reason we have to do this is because this will help your resonance to be much further back, as I mentioned before. And a British person, it's okay for them to position their tongue slightly further forwards because their resonance is naturally going to be here anyway. So let's have a go. Let's see if this makes a difference for you. So again, just find the position and now have a go at these words. Lesson, light. So you can repeat after me. Lunch, long, luxury. And each time, just take a moment to find that positioning. Okay, this may or may not have helped. And the reason for this is that, as I mentioned before, your attention shouldn't be on the movement because if you're focusing on the movement, that's going to mean that your resonance is more at the front of the mouth. And your resonance, your attention needs to be in these cavities at the very back for your vowels and your diphthongs. So again, if we take a moment, we're going to do a warm up now actually, to warm up this space so you can really feel it. So we're going to imagine that you're yawning for a second and the back wall of the mouth then just enlarges. Another good one is to lower your bottom jaw and hum. Lesson, light, lunch. And you should feel that the combination of finding the correct positioning and also doing this warm up to really find the space for the resonance, this should help your voice to shift backwards. The sound should change a bit, it should become smoother and it should be more resonant as well. So you can keep having a go. So keep doing a warm up and then coming back to the words. Mm. You can also do some exaggerated chewing and humming. Mm. And deepen the back of the mouth like a cave again. Lesson, light, lunch. And remember that the positioning is going to help you But you might find to start with that you over focus on where the tongue is. And that again might mean that your voice then resonates too far forwards in your mouth. So again, come back to the warm up again. Mm, Really get your voice to resonate in these cavities at the back of the mouth, in the throat. And then come back to the words again. Light, lesson, luxury, lunch. And maybe I'll do it more slowly so you can pause and repeat. Lesson, light, lunch. And then we're going to come back and do the warm up again. And deepen the back of the mouth like a cave. Lesson, light, lunch. And you can keep coming back and doing this. And I might come back to you another time because I think my little boy's playing on his motorbike in the garden and I can hear a really strange noise, which is probably quite irritating for you in the background. So I might come back to this lesson another time. But in the meantime, you can keep going through this and practicing the warm up and then going back to the word, warm up, word, warm up, word. And again, be aware of the positioning to start with. It has to be correct. But remember that if you over focus on it, that's also going to cause your voice to resonate too far forward. So it's this balance of getting used to the new positioning, also making sure it's right, and then practicing this resonance in the back of the mouth. The warm up's so important. Obviously, the two come hand in hand, positioning, warm up, and practice as well. So that's quite a good one, actually, isn't it? To remember positioning, warm up, and practice. So I'll leave you with that, and I'll come back and I'll make do another live soon. Next time, I might even warn you in advance. That could be useful, and I might make sure my son's playing somewhere else. Enjoy the lovely weather if you're in Europe. Speak to you soon. Bye.